Evening, everyone. How are you? So I was doing some paperwork for the company all afternoon. So I thought I'll come and chat with my friends. So here I am. So this I call it like an association of good people, but truth seeking, right? So this is a ancient tradition that went on with a lot of people who wanted to really gather together at the end of the day and really explore things. It's not gossip, it's not transactional, it's more like in friendliness, in cooperation, without any ulterior motives, just to explore the world, their interaction, and what we learned, and how we could share that, or how we could learn from somebody else. But by really exploring the recesses of our mind, our learnings, our understandings. Nowadays, we compare what is in the research and we take it for granted. But they were kind of allowing their mind to really get into their own, uh, you know, mind, and then they explore the mind. They kind of make the mind more like a beginner's mind and ask questions, not quoting people, not quoting books and all, even though they were sacred books and all that. But the essential thing is, how can we really explore our own intellect, our own inner, you know, energy, help them quite a bit. Okay, so I thought I will do the same tradition because we do that. There's no authority here, but only the people that are really interested, inquisitive, curious about not just about any information like how I can travel. That's all elementary, right? That's all. But it's about any fundamental questions that we have about life and the happenings that are within the mind, within the um, life itself, right? So, so a lot of people get that after a lot of experience. But it is better to encourage young people to be their own self, their own questions, and all that. That will really help them a lot, right? So that's what I'm hoping that people will get from this session. This is just a exploration and discussion into issues of life. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm talking about, and participate in this. It's not like somebody is giving a sermon, but it's more like we are exploring the sermon, all of us, that kind of thing. So think about that, and then you can really understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so how is your day is one thing. How many things you are wondered about in the day, that's another thing. How did you wonder what's happening to the democracy, what's happening to all the equality, everything that they do? There's never like that. There's only pretense, right? But then we are free to question and do that. That is also eroding now. So kind of makes us not as a reaction to life, but as a somebody who has questions, who has doubts, who has a lot of questions about life. So that kind of people they used to do. Like I told my friends before, I used to do this in Chicago. I used to live in the south suburbs because my hospital was there. So we traveled from there to north suburbs, which are Oak Park, actually the middle of it, after the and we used to drive there. My friend and me, he used to drive me there. He has a big uh, wagon, okay, station wagon. So he used to take me back. And we were kind of a 1.5 hour travel, and then we were there. But that was worth it because the group that gathered, they're all kind of, dignified but serious. and inquisitive and questioning and sharing enthusiasm about things, especially the existential issues. What's life? How is the weather is deteriorated? What kind of life is happening in front of us? That kind of thing. A lot was done on the planet and the erosion of all the elements and the damage to the Earth's resources. That was very concerning at the time. I remember Meryl Streep and other people came on the TV and they were really spreading awareness of the erosion of uh, weather, even in 1980s, right? Very early, 83 to 85, I was in that satsang, like, and it used to happen once or twice a month. But we used to drive there and go there, and we were there for about 1.5 years or so. So those associations were very, very formative for me because nobody got up and said, "This is the way it is." No, they presented a video. There used to be VHS tapes, right? They used to play one of them. They used to bring different known philosophers or people who are really oriented in their own own understandings and all that. J. Krishnamurti was to be one of them, and Nisargadatta Maharaj is another of them, and a lot of other people were there of the Theosophical Society, and later on also. And they also presented some scientific lectures, that are really thought-provoking. At the time, gene was developing. It's not at full blown or anything, but we were just introduced to that. That kind of so topics that were really not gossipy, not transactional, but more towards this. So that is what I really like also, because when we in the hospital also, I usually try to lead my colleagues, my other people towards something significant that we could discuss, we could explore, and putting all our minds together, we come for a solution. That's what we used to do. I hope that makes sense for you. So I was least interested in people's gossip, personal lives, and all that because. It's like a private thing, right? Who are we to really go out? And also the morbid interest on that that shows um, the level of the inquiry in life, right? So I don't know how I got it. I was always oriented towards that, so here I'm here just to chat with you and explore some things with you. And if you have any thing like that, anything that you want to explore, please come up and then we will pose question each other and then let our mind go. And maybe we can drop on some of the lessons that we learned. That's okay. But essentially, we come to the meeting with some questions and we will go with some things answered. That's called satsang, association of good people. Sat means good people. Sang means association. Why? They are exploring the truth of any matter, And so it's not like you are going to listen to a theory and accept that evidence and all. That's not it. It's about uh, what do we wonder about? What do we want to explore? Want to really go in and find out the truths we never heard, something new. Actually, once you have the click of that, whatever truth that you have had, and that kind of you validated by your own inquiry, you feel great. A burst of energy is there because all the non-clarity, confusion, or anxiety about what we may find, all those, they are called kleshas in ancient wisdom. That means there are questions that are very problems that are there in our inner recesses, and we never found an answer for it. We never dared to explore that. We never dared to present it to somebody else, thinking that they may think that we are, you know, too ignorant or we are not smart enough. That kind of egoic activities go on with people, right? So that is not it. It's not about sharing information or conclusions or concepts. It is about exploring the information with the insights, and then taking it to the level. Lots of times these things happen. Suppose you have a question like, what is consciousness, right? And you always wondered, maybe I'm conscious only, I'm awake. But somebody may say, no, 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 your consciousness is there even when you're sleeping. It is in the background. This is the background. This is that sky in which all the things are happening. So all the clouds are happening in the sky. Your consciousness is like your sky. But you are that sky, and in that all the thoughts are happening, something like that. So uh, there are so many existential issues, like what is the consequence of this planet Earth with all the injuries that they're going, right? So we always worry about that. What's happening, what's going to be the conclusion, how is that we could help with it, things like that. A lot of people don't really get into that. So that is an existential issue. And you see all this proliferation of nuclear arms, and I'm hearing about this since 1980s. We knew even at the time there were much more before the um, uh, um, Reagan and Russian president, they got together and got the arms down. There were much more. So the standard thing was, we can blow up ourselves several times with that kind of. Even now, that is the status, right? So only thousands are there, only few, when 10 bombs are enough to get all the everything nuclear war, right? So not getting anxious, not getting fearful, that's not the idea. But understanding why people are striving for these weapons, why they have to make themselves enemies with each other and cannot sit down and talk. But then what is that they want to kill everybody for? That kind of thing. So you may not be able to do anything about it, but at least you will understand the human nature, human inside thoughts, and then divisions. All those things we can understand better. So that makes it so much easier to handle this, right? So anybody has any opinion on that? You can come up and tell me about it. Um, what do you, or you say, oh, it's politically incorrect, so I'm not going to say anything. That's the standard answer we get. But these satsangs were not against anybody or not for anybody. They were for exploring the truth by yourself, not agreeing to somebody else's theory or whatever the words they are saying. But hi, Peter, is more like you allowing the truth to be like you are a beginner's mind. That means you have no conclusions, no lessons, nothing from anybody or the books or anything. And that kind of inquiry is the one which results in insights that give us scientific truths that we were not able to see by ourselves. But some minds really got into that, and then they explored that. And then what they did, they kind of understood the things better than all the people. And once one person understands, and everybody else, like Einstein has this great theory about the whatever happening, and then you kind of accept it. Up until the time, you don't accept that. So somebody has to lead you towards that. Okay, but that's okay too. But you never know. You can start saying that by yourself, and then you can go there too. So satsangs are very important for our mental health also, because normally mental health happens with the cyclical thinking. That means you have experienced something and you allow that thought to go in cycles. It kind of repeats itself, and then it kind of establishes as though it is a fact. but that actually a thought establishes that because you are thinking it so many times, it forms its own thought pattern. And those patterns are called samskaras in ancient wisdom. So they even said, if you live with certain mindset, certain way of thinking, you will carry that when your body dies. So that's why they explain this child prodigies, people who are born with exceptional talents without really having a lot of practice, because they're only 4 or 5 years old. How much practice they could do, but they are like a maestro level. So we were always approached about that, because in the beginning I did this geriatrics, right? And then I was introduced to end of life issues, and also what happens after death. Those things we were kind of looking at the literature that was there, and also looking at the ancient people, how they explored death, how there's the integrity of the spiritual evolution, and then they kind of came to their own understandings, and then they kind of presented to other people to examine. So that's what happens in satsangs. It's not like you are accepting somebody, your teacher, and you bow to him. That's a different thing. It's a guru sishya parampara. Guru is teacher, sishya is the disciple who is learning from the student, right? The teacher and the student, that's the tradition. So you can pass on science, you can pass on a lot of economic data, a lot of things you can pass on like that, right? So that is what they were. But otherwise, it's like it's called mumukshatvam, intense curiosity, and also this jignasa, the spirit of trying to know things, trying to question things, trying to doubt things. That is jignasa. Very, very beautiful term. So if you accept something like some scientific fact, and somebody else comes with a different insight, then you are forced to look at it because the evidence is overwhelming, and you will be doing that. So instead of somebody building and shocking your established thought, you allow yourself to be beginner's mind all the time. See how the life is there. Okay? So in satsang, that used to happen. So people are not just in the society, just existing, living, eating, sleeping, or procreating, and then enjoying some innocent pleasures, and then that's it, that life. But these people are the ones who posed questions within themselves and allowed them to really mushroom and or come up, and then the one thing about the brain is, the more you are inquisitive like this, the more you are questioning, the more doubting and all that, you will have new brain formation. See, you get this dementia when you are not really occupied with the life, and you are not asking questions, you are not engaging your mind very, 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 very deep. Okay. So even now, we kind of say the neuroplasticity. But that means you can create your own brain by what is the mental activity you engage in. That's pretty common. And then we are using that to our advantage now. But many people still, they don't question by themselves. They don't engage in this deeper study by themselves. Maybe they think, I just have to live well, and I live well, I enjoy myself, and I go. That's it. But some people in the community that are leaders, that may think about their life, what it is we'll do later on and all. But what is life? That's the question is asked in satsang. What is life like in this society? What is life like with this scientific mentality? What is life like with the technology-based thinking? What is this life like when people think body and tools are only, body and mind are only my tools, but I am not them? Then they have a completely different approach to inward life of the human being, beyond the thought, beyond the feelings and all that. So This is all for those people who are calmed their mind, and then they really uh, have transcended consciousness limits, and then go deeper and deeper into themselves. And they are there. Those stages are there, and but then it cannot be describable. It cannot be kind of put it in a bottle and give it to you like a drug. Cannot do that. Everybody has to explore themselves. That is the difficulty in many of the modern people, because they don't know how to explore their own inner self, right? And they think the thinking comes somewhere, feelings are happening, so they don't see that they can be apart from all that and look at all that like a witness consciousness. And then you will be able to observe the thoughts, follow the thoughts, slow them down, and change them from negative to positive. All those things can happen. And you can also experience that immense silence that is very peaceful, and that is very joyful, and really happy that way. You don't need anything else. If you taste that, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Anybody has any comments? We're a silent bunch today. See, general life structure in West is oh, we should have comforts, we should live well, we should enjoy ourselves, and that's it. But then, way before this kind of civilization outward, but inward really degeneration, there was civilization inward. You know, so it's a question of understanding that, and then really looking at it. What did they discover? And then they discovered amazing things. What they did was they put that inner awareness to use, and they went deeper and deeper, and then explored that consciousness, and then have these insights into not only life, and also not only inward life, and how those confusions or fears, anxieties happened in inward. And then uh, each human being has the capacity, has the potential to reach that inner serenity, inner serene, calm stillness. You can have that. But once you taste that, you want to come back to it. Because outward life is so chaotic sometimes, so much restless, and people are really see the uh, the basically our adjustment is not right, and then our harmony is not right. So you feel like you're left out, or you're alone, or you don't have the support, or you don't have the strength to deal with the challenges of life as it happens, or life provides completely different scenario to you. You want it certain way. You want to do the degree, you want to do the masters, you want to do some real good practice of it, and you want to enjoy your life and all that. But suddenly something happens, and then life shows the colors, and then you get to um, handle your disappointment, handle your own sadness that you are feeling because of the grief thing will be there, right? So all that kind of explained by them, because they experienced that, and they came from the what is called experiential knowledge. I don't see that these days. Everybody is quoting from somebody. Everybody's saying things, but and they come out and say, "Oh, I'm so much authority. I did all these things." But when you really question the deep part, what is your experience? They don't want to really. They may say, "I studied, I struggled like this. I came out on other." No, what is your exponential experience while you are exploring deep within yourself? Go deeper, not outer, not wide, but go deeper and find out what it is. Okay, all this is kind of came out of these satsangs that people had. So look at the contrast. They gather together to find out the life. They didn't gather to how to lead the life, how to make the life better, how to enjoy life and all that. Because they are always enjoying their inward quietness and joyfulness. Once you touch that, then you want to find out how can. Then they don't read books. You got to sit down and close your eyes and allow yourself to go deeper and deeper. This is something that you should be interested, because it is something amazing, right? As a human being, that's one of the gifts that we have. We have this consciousness, we have this mental aspect. We can turn the mind activities, everything on itself and study it, and then enjoy the quietness of the mental activities, and then really tease that inner nature of ours, the true nature of ours. That is what they made as a purpose of a human life. And once you discover it, you'll understand why they said that. And up until the time, like, oh, I have to survive, I have to live, I have to have a lot of securities, I have to have a lot of money, and that's why I'm doing all this. So my children should not be struggling and all that. Even if you make a lot of money, give it to them, they will not be able to keep that. They may abuse it or throw it away because they don't know the value of that. That's happening too. Or you allow them to think only mind and money and the accumulations will give you happiness, and it's not true. That's why they go to other different experiences, drugs, alcohol, smoking. A lot of things are out of that. On the other hand, if you allow them to discover that inner peace and quiet and joy, I think that's undersold, really, because it's not something you can give to somebody. You can only tell them this is there. They have to go and find out. They have to validate themselves by turning in. A lot of people are not willing to do that. Either they don't have the energy, or they don't have the time, and they don't have the occasion, or they don't have the intense desire for that, right? So that's why modern society have all the outward things, but inwardly very, very disordered, right? So much aloneness, loneliness, so much yeah, mental illnesses, so much people cannot focus anymore. They cannot even read and study. So this satsang is used to be so many things, discovering new findings or calming your mind and beating your mind in a certain way, and really learning from other people and all that. So that's a good way to start. And then, of course, they had books, they had literature and all that. But then reading book is different than satsang. In satsang, you kind of sit down and listen to the questions, listen to the topics, and then allow your mind to go deeper and deeper and quiet. That may not happen that with that satsang, but then that's the purpose. As you come and spend time like that, you learn to really open up your mind. Okay. I am hoping to do that, but nobody is answering anything. Nobody is saying anything. Do you guys have any questions like that? Or do you guys have anything that you could share that with me? You don't have to feel bad if you don't have it. But what I'm questioning is, I'm presenting it a tradition that was there for thousands of years, and that I found value with. I'm sharing with you. And more than opinions, what are the things that we're questioning about? What are things that we want to, um, fearlessly inquire into? Okay, you don't have to make enemies just saying that what you do is wrong. No, that's not it. How are you using your brain? How are you using your intellect? How are you using your insights into life? How are you bringing your wisdom of your own experience? Experiential knowledge, we call it. That's those people have that. Don't have to study any books. That may be a tall thing for you to understand, but that is it. So silent, calm yourself, and go inward, and you have all the answers there. But it won't happen just like that unless you are able to sit down on a continuous basis, on a regular basis, and also engage your mind in one particular way of asking questions and all that. It won't happen if you come and sit down and say, "Oh, I read about this. I have knowledge about this." Then I'll go to it. You will not be able to. That's why first requirement is beginner's mind. Don't come here with a lot of baggage, lot of data, but come here with insights of that baggage. Okay, and that can be given to somebody who can accept that and really, go from there. Everybody these days, short videos, short clips, rapid quiz. One of the persons, he wants to interview me, and he said, "Oh, we'll do this interview, Doctor, but there will be short questions of rapid fire." I said, I don't know the rapid fire thing because I cannot put immense things into one word or two word, even 5 seconds, 9 seconds. What is that you are looking for? If you are looking for a short video, 3 seconds, what is that you are looking? You are looking something that you already know, but you don't want to challenge yourself something new. So why can't you stay with a serious topic for hours and hours? Everything. What is that you hurried and what you are doing? Lack of peace and hurry and running from one to other, it do not make sense in the long run. So people have become less capable of reading lots of things or engaging in conversations or developing a good conversation with our fellows and other people. Why are they happening? Why don't we question that? Finally, somebody is coming. Sure, it's Peter. I thought so. So why don't they have the questions? That's the question. Not just us, the generation.
Yeah, namaste.
Namaste.
I don't know if you can hear me, but namaste, Dr. Ra. Yeah, so I can't hear you. Oh, no, I can.
Yeah. Now, I was asking, as a generation, it's not about casual questions. It is about deeper existential questions. To ask that, you have to be able to stay with the questions for some time. Informational, okay. So how do you go, sir? This is the path you take. What should I take? Or train or plane? What is appropriate? That's simple. But then, how is that culture? Yeah.
Good. How you doing? Good. Hello.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There was I was saying hello to my neighbor.
Okay.
He's a doctor like you. So I was, as you were talking, I'm thinking like it's the whole short attention span thing that comes, I think, a lot with these phones, and we're just used to scrolling and getting input, stimulation, and the less thinking we do, the less we think, and it becomes almost uncomfortable to actually have to think through things.
That is the loss.
Right?
Today I was looking at the article, Peter. That article sent to me. It says, "Are your AI friends having?" The title is "Your AI friends are secretly making you dumber." There's an MIT study. So your AI is a yes man by design.
Wow.
So learn how this creates cognitive debt and the frameworks to fix it. So it's a kind of like calculator was there. Before calculate, I could make math like a 1645 times 972 this much. Because we learned that Vedic mathematics, which allows us to use our own brain to do that. And the brains are very sharp because of that. Right? That kind of thing, we made it so easy with the calculator. You kind of lost that capacity. So
I gotta tell you, it's just like, listen, I'm just so grateful that I started walking this path, because like life can get away, right? And if you want to be distracted, you can so easily, more so than ever, anytime in history, you can find a distraction.
Yes.
But it leads to so much dullness, so much lack of empathy, just being distant from life, and you're not even connected with who we are really, and that's really
no. It's the natural natural brain capacity we are losing. I wish more parents pay attention to this and say, kids, what are you doing to yourself? You know,
they're doing it themselves. The parents are doing it. The parents are doing it. So.
But you know, parents are contributing to this by not paying attention to the dangers.
Yeah.
Probably this kind of studies will help us to come back to it, you know. But then the damage is done in real time.
Right.
See, you take the kids, they can't even converse with each other like we used to do.
Yeah.
Because they're chatting. They're next to each other, they are chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in the offices way back, you know, they were chatting, sitting next to. I thought they were talking to somebody else. No, they're talking to each other in the same sofa.
In the same sofa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And now more and more parents are seeing that and they're reporting to us, you know. So,
yeah.
But they don't understand the intricacies of the laws and all that. But you know what? At the time of the satsang, when they originated and all that, they gave a lot of importance to the original human intellect and the intelligence.
Yeah.
Touch that, there is a way to touch that and be in that. You know, that is very flourishing experience, and also actually to takes away the cobwebs.
Yeah.
So these satsangs are not go there and entertain yourself. No, go there and bring in the complex problems you have and have a light about them.
Yeah.
See how valuable that is.
Mm. I just walked through a pretty bad area here. You said have a light about them?
Yes, light about the problems, not a solution, but about a clarity within your own, they call it mastishk. That means it's a combination of memory, intellect, imagination, all that capable brain, or you can say it is the mind, that itself is very, very valuable, you know. So when they went to satsang, when they participated in satsang, not just a passive listener, participated in that listener by actively engaging in questions and doubts, they had clarity about their own uncertainties or doubts, or you know, lack of clarity itself. So that's a very valuable thing. These days, you got to tell people what they think is the mind resonating with it, and then they agree with each other what they will know. They don't want to take a leap out of that. That's a complaint I have with the social media people. All of them, they say, you are always in the mind, you don't go beyond that. That means you are always within your past knowledge or your own conclusions and concepts. Scientific, some of them says, okay, but I want to go inner, you know, humanistic tendencies, humanistic understanding, humanistic way of. See, if you really question them, are you a racist or not? They get offended. But they harbor their feeling and go about all over the place. If you tell them, are you a sexist, you kind of discriminate women, they say, no, 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 I don't. Political correct. But then if they point out a thing that they have done that tells them that they did from that feeling, they get so mad. So you have to have a kind of courage, and then also real appetite about these things, you know. So when you have that, you explore on your own anyway, and that is where ekant, that means lonely, not loneliness, is aloneness. Aloneness, ekagrita, one pointedness of your mind, you know, not allowing all the memories, all the plans, all the things. This is what, how much money I can make, how many things I can do, I can transact and all. See, this all doesn't lead to anything really significant. If you take a general average life, born, either they are born rich or poor and struggled and became rich, whatever, everybody is only towards that. And then a lot of energy, a lot of years go by, and then life may come and kick you in some way, and then you want to learn. But these satsangs are for people who wants to just explore for the sake of exploration, not because they have received a kick from the life. Not if somebody died or somebody lost property in a natural calamity or any other. But but there's an education about how do you handle these things in life. Not because somebody is telling you, but you figure out the wisdom of the other person by yourself. Not in so many words, but you can grasp their wisdom. And now people are afraid if they see somebody like, oh, they don't agree with us, they don't have our way of life, all this. How can you really take a leap in that? If we look at it, actually, the thinking is going down. That's why people are really going for short answers, simple answers that they won't be resolved with that. That's why we're getting civilization, where culture, where we're going down. For the amount of knowledge and everything that we don't have the inner resources, inner resilience to solve life's problems intelligently. Victims of the, you know, uh, reactions, victims of the thoughts, some words are, okay, we were a victim of the senses too. So, do you have, as a modern civilized human being, have this capacity to have developed this uh, way of looking at things with a real wisdom? Thereby, you have gained the mental resilience that you could handle any of the problems without disturbing your mind. See, that is the thing I always talk about. People see something and they react, a word or a gesture or something intended and all that, they will be reacting all through the day. That is where they develop that intense sympathetic tone that kind of increases your blood pressure and that kind of damages your heart rates and then a lot of problems with that. There is no doubt, we used to say type A personality or X personality, whatever. Whatever it is, they are reacting from the limbic system and they're reacting all the time. And that sympathetic tone can be balanced by being non-reactive, by cultivating deep breathing. So we suggest some ways, but then how is that you don't question why I'm reacting so easily? Why I take these things so serious? These are simple things, but I don't understand about the what we are doing to the planet, what we are doing to human beings, what we are doing to ourselves. Once you have those deeper questions and you come to satsangs with that and you explore them with others, and then they are also for the same age. But usually they are all transactional. They are all like what I can get out of it, what kind of business, that kind of thing. They don't engage in that deeper, focused thinking. You know. Anyway, I think I'm the only one who sees these things like this. Not that because I'm great or anything, but I'm focused my mind like that from the 80s, right? So that kind of experience of satsang is very good. We don't have to have a lot of people for that. We can have, we used to be less than 20 people there, but they are regulars every day. You know what? After 1 year, we didn't really know who did what, who lived where, and all those things we never bothered about. That was remarkable there, right? It's because the whole thing was focusing on the deeper aspects of life and not about my personal life, not about what is kind of convenient, how these people are going to be useful, none of that. So when we really allowed ourselves to engage in that deeper thinking, um, something came out of that. Now they say deeper mind, deeper thing, but they are only uh, hatching everything within what they know. And they also only react to the people who seem to be agreeing their point of view. And they say, oh, resonating with each other. See, life is not one particular way, right? So many people have different ways of life. But then only one truth of understanding of what is life, how is life, how we can really live as intelligent human beings. So lots of times the ancients measured to that, but then after the everything turned outward, like a all the technology and everything that is important. So people are forgetting about inner resilience of our hearts, our minds, our feelings, and our reactions and all that. Okay, I think that's very important as you go by, because the uncertainties that are going on are enormous. So people will also have the AI, which will control people in a so much significant way, and people will have problems with that too. What do you think? So basically, I wanted to introduce you to the satsang. I wanted to tell you what it is in satsangs that we could explore, and what is the structure, why were they so popular for thousands of years, and why did people had a uh, frame of mind that was oriented to existential issues of the world. Say why there is so much poverty, inequality, why there is so all those things are social and all that we can learn. But then, what is life? Where is the life? Where the life goes? What is death? What is happens after the death? And while you are here, why is that we are always occupied within our own mind rather than with the life? So those are existential issues that are quite different from making a living or living better or enjoying ourselves. Those are okay. But beyond that, people have to have this. Usually, it is relegated to chiefs or prominent people in the world. But we should all be engaging in that kind of activity. That's what I'm saying. We shouldn't give that authority to only few and then let them manipulate us. No, but we should really engage in at least some kind of doubting and learning, questioning, and all, going deeper into ourselves, not looking outward for some guidance, but going deeper and then looking for answers. That's what the ancients did, and I'm very happy that I was introduced to that, and I kind of turned my mind inward. That is something you could check yourself. Do I turn inward? Not just say I'm going to sleep. No, it is much deeper than that. Okay, your superficial understanding and beyond that. Okay, when you don't do that, all these things look, oh, they are not practical. They are not. No, your entire things came from the inward insights of some people. If Einstein did know the time and the relativity theory, a lot of things would not have changed. This quantum computer, everything would not have come. So there are so many findings like that ancient did by going inward with their awareness. So don't look down upon them as though you are clever and they are not. They are way, way superior in their perceptions, in their consciousness, in their evolution of their consciousness. So they were not threatened by physical insecurity, emotional insecurity, political insecurity, none of it. They are psychologically free. And also, they enjoyed the joyous nature of the inner essence and what is called tranquility of the mind. They enjoyed in the presence of storm brewing outside with the conditions, your bankrupt, your lost, those material things, So by turning inward, they kind of gained a lot of jewels that they already have. Everybody has. That's my point. If you don't have that, you will not be able to do that. Okay. I think we're here about uh, an hour, maybe here. Okay. Yeah. So I'm happy that I brought the whole understanding about the satsang, what it is, what it means, what it does, how we could you can gather a few people that are not interested in the gossip, that are not in the regular daily routines, how you are doing like a child, and also how you're worried about social problems. Beyond that, beyond all that, beyond the about life itself, about existence itself, once you get that, by exploring the vast canvas of issues, you will be able to find clarity for your little lives, little things. Once you have that inner stability and uh, inner tranquility, life is beautiful. Okay, so last chance. Anybody wants to come up? Otherwise, I will be closing now. Okay. All right. I'll see you again whenever I have the time. Thank you. Bye bye.